permit, and now I submit sales taxes monthly.
What does it take to get a sales tax permit?
You just have to fill out a form, put, I think, the Secretary of State, and I think it's a $25 filing fee. I didn't do it. My brother did it for me. And it's so funny. I know people are probably going to go to the next question and be like, so Chris, you want to do my taxes? No, I do not. I have a lot of people asking that. I actually don't even do my own taxes. My brother and my dad do mine because I just don't want to deal with it. I deal with it all day at work and I don't want to look at it, so they do it for me.
I run income through different sources, whether it be Square, Venmo, Cash App, checks, cash, all of that stuff. And I'm sure, I think like Square for sure sends a 1099.
They think so. It's the same thing as PayPal because it's 1099K. Yeah.
So
because it's a credit card processing. That literally a 1099K is a credit card processing form.
Now, do I actually have to use that form when I'm filing taxes, or I just have that number and it has to be included in everything that I'm doing?
Pretty much. I mean, the 1099K doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
But it's like, you think about it this way. If they were to send something that said that you ran $1 million through and then you're showing $20,000 of income, that's a flag for the IRS. Do you see what I'm saying? And I have clients that do that. Like, their 1099K that I get for, because, you know, I deal with multi-million-dollar companies, their 1099K will be this exorbitant amount, like huge, but they get other forms of payment as well. So it really doesn't matter. We're not trying to match out that number. But I would recommend, I personally love Square because of the reporting function. It's super easy. You click a button, say the whole year, it runs the whole thing. And I am so not technologically savvy. I so suck at it. Like, it's bad. Every transaction I run for LipSense, I run through Square, whether they're giving me cash, whether they pay with the Square Cash App, whether they're giving me a check. So then at the end of the day, that's literally all of my sales are just sitting right there. And I just know exactly how much I sold, how much I gave in discounts, how much I did this, and it's right there. And it's just, that's the numbers I'm taking to put on my tax return.
And now, you're not doing File C though, are you? Are you doing LLC? You are? Yeah. Because then that's being taxed the most amount. It's like 20%, is that right?
Okay, your Schedule C is basically self-employment income, and everyone actually should be filing a Schedule C for
Okay,
Senegence.
so I can't do like an LLC?
You can get an LLC, which I actually have an LLC. The difference is, if you are an LLC and not a partnership, obviously you have to have two people, right? If you're an LLC, you are a single member LLC. A single member LLC in the eyes of the IRS is an individual. You're taxed the same way. It doesn't matter. An LLC, the only thing it protects you is liability, like the law side of it. It doesn't teach you anything for taxes.
It's the percentage isn't different on there?
Nope.
Or maybe because I feel like when you do File C,
yes, it is more because
you pay more
because you're paying also the
Social Security.
Yes,
and all
but then
that.
you get that deduction on the second page of your return. You get self-employment deduction, and I'll go into that too. Yeah. Try not to go into everything because I'm still waiting to see if there's any more people going, and then I'm actually gonna go through everything. Like, I was actually 228.
I've started recording.
Oh, you have? Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, so yeah, because I feel bad. I'm like, that's so rude. Okay, so let's just go ahead. I'm gonna do, and then as you guys come across these, she has really good questions. And that's basically a lot of the stuff that I was gonna go over. So, and stop me. I talk really, really fast, so please stop me. I know people are always like, "You're from Oklahoma? You talk really fast," or they think that I'm like high or something, which I'm not. So, see, if I'm on caffeine, it's worse. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to go over real quick, just so you kind of know what you're looking at for the girls that don't really know taxes. So this is your 1040. This is what you file to the IRS, right? Oh, you need one. Sorry. Does everyone have one? No? Okay. So what you have in your 1040, if you look at like line 7 is like your W-2 wages. That's like when you work for anybody, they hand you your W-2 at the end of the year. That's where that money goes. We're really going to look at line 12, which it says business income or loss, Schedule C or CEZ, which is the second page that I gave you, which is your Schedule C. This is very, this is what you need to be filing for Senegence, period. Unless you decide to, if you're a partnership, which I think Jade, Sharon, and them, they're a partnership, I think they have an S Corp. And this is kind of what goes into your question right here. If I decide to, because I have like an LLC, and I'm a single member LLC, I could go and incorporate myself and become an S Corp, but then you have to file a whole nother return, and that's a way for you to kind of not avoid self-employment taxes, because basically you're paying yourself a wage.
Because my husband and I technically have an S Corp, but it's not lip sense or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's,
You would have to, if you decided like what you're wanting to do to avoid the self-employment, then you would have to incorporate, do an S corp, and then you would have to file a whole nother return that would issue a K1 that you pick up on your 1040, and then it doesn't have self-employment income on it.
so like say like I would have like my hair business here, lip sense here, my husband's business here, all filed underneath S corp individually.
That's 3 different returns that you have to file, including your 1040.
I thought an S corp was only beneficial if you're making more than 60,000 per business. Like it hurts you if you're making less than that.
There is some thresholds, and there's a way to kind of manipulate that. Like, we've done a lot of research on that. We've done a lot of meetings on that as well. And the problem is with that, like, I'm not exactly extremely well versed in that, because you have to understand what I do for a living. I get the end result. I'm not helping people. Like, I'm eventually going to get into that consulting side. That is almost also bookkeeping too as well. I don't do that. Like, I get people's profit and losses, and I do their tax returns. That's what I do. I deal with S corps that have been in corporation since, the 1900s kind of thing. So, but hi. You're good. Pull a chair up. So that is an option you can do, but then again, it's like then you're gonna have to file an S corp return. So you're filing another return. So that's, it's a very thin, like most people are not gonna do that, because it's just, why would you? Then you have to find someone that's gonna file it for you, and that's more money you're gonna spend to file another return. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? And are you making like an insane amount of money? Like, if you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, like with Senegence, then it's something you probably should look at. But that's something you need to find like a tax professional and weigh your options and have them run the numbers for you to see if it's beneficial to you to do that. Does that make sense? Because that's what we do for our clients. Like, we have C corps that eventually switch to becoming, because C corps, they get taxed at the super high rate, then end up switching to an S, they do an S corp election, but we have to run the scenarios for them to say, this is actually how much you're going to be saving in the long run, this is why you want to do this. And that's why you have to actually get a tax professional to decide if that's what you want to do. I don't want to deal with the hassle of having to file a whole nother return, because it's already hard enough just trying to file my own return. So that was my option on that. So does that make sense?
To an extent, I don't know. It's just been difficult for me because my dad has always filed my taxes for me up until like 2 years ago. And then so last year I had a tax guy, and we did the S corp. My husband filed jointly and stuff like that, and he just charged us the flat rate of, I think it was like $500 to do all the returns. So I just don't know how much it actually would be to like pay someone just to do one Schedule C versus an S corp.
It depends. I will tell you right now, if you are going to H&R Block or any of those places, to stop going to those places. Seriously, it's the worst idea ever. They
don't save you very much.
They don't save you any money. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
People are just like us who are doing it. They're just following.
Yes.
No, my tax guy was the bomb diggity last year.
So that's first I want to give that disclaimer to all women. Like, all the girls that are doing this, do not do that. Like, I actually had a girlfriend that she went to like Jackson Hewitt, and she called me crying because of how much they charged her, because she was a single mom. And I was like, why did you not, girl? You could have gotten TurboTax, and I could have just got me some wine, and we could have sat there, and I could have just watched you do it, make sure it was good, and filed it. Like, and I wouldn't even
it's the same thing.
Yeah, and she only had a W-2. That's all she had, and they charged her like $700. Do you know how much that is for a single mother? That's the thing. Do not go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt. I'm going to throw it out there, and if anyone knows anybody that works there or anything, I'm sorry, but that is just, for me, what I do, I don't work for a mom and pop shop. Like, I work for the 5th largest accounting firm. We deal with high wealth individuals. We deal with businesses. I deal with the high wealth sector. That's what I do. But like I said, you would want to go find someone like my brother, that he's very a small mom pop thing. He deals with people that are small business owners. That's what he does. That's why he does my taxes, because I don't want to deal with it. He deals with people that own like the local, actually pretty much every Asian restaurant in Oklahoma City area, he has his clients. Like, that's what we do. That's, my whole family comes from that. So that's the type of tax profession you wanted to get. And I do know, because I did ask my brother, because I know some girls have asked me if I knew anybody that would be good for this. I asked him how much he would charge, and I was like, you should try to do a discount for my whole little Senegence sisterhood, because that's what you should do, because I'm your sister. And he's actually willing to do a discounted rate for anybody that comes from Senegence that wants him to file tax returns. And also, if you want to be that person that hands him a bag full of receipts, he will do that bookkeeping side of it as well for you, and that's a different rate too. And he would charge you less than what he would charge his actual clients. So if you guys want that option, you can ask me about that too. And of course, it's not like he's going to tell me, oh, Sylvia makes this much. No, he can't do that. By law, you can't do that. It's the same type of confidentiality a lawyer has. You can't just go and ask people how much they make and things like that. Like, I can't tell you, like, I would actually get fired if I was to discuss like what my clients make or like what they do or their businesses and like I have to sign like a non-disclosure and things like that for my job. So I mean, that for what you guys are doing, that's what you want to find. You want to find someone that knows small business, you know, taxes and things like that. Don't go to H&R Block, don't go to Jackson Hewitt. Find someone, word of mouth, ask people, but try to still know the biggest thing is you still need to be educated as to what they're doing, because we've inherited clients that have gone to these small business places that have royally screwed up their taxes, and you're talking about, I mean, get them in holes they can't get out of. So you just be careful, like do your due diligence. It's the same thing like when you're buying a house, you're getting all your inspections, you're checking all your stuff, you're making sure everything's right. Like that's what you want to do with your tax professional too. And if they're advertising on the TV, definitely don't call them. So there's a reason. It's like those lawyers, you don't call those lawyers that advertise on the TV. Okay, so real quick, and as we're going through, if you guys have any questions, do we want to just talk about sales taxes first? I know we had someone that was added. Do you want to just talk about sales tax first, then we can go to like income taxes? Would that be the best to do that? Okay, so no one here has a sales tax permit, correct? No one does, except for me. Okay. So SeneGence will charge you sales taxes on your purchases, and you'll see that little box at the bottom. You like have like the total retail price less your discount, and then it has like supplies, I think, and then your sales tax expense, and you have like in the parentheses like whatever your rate is that they're charging you. For most people in Oklahoma, it's going to be 8.375 or 8.38. Sales tax is not the same as income tax, period. Sales tax is what goes to the state, income tax is what goes to the federal government. Sales tax, at the end of the day, you want your net effect to be zero. So, just say we're gonna use easy numbers. Let's say you buy $100 worth of product. We're talking retail, not talking your discount, this and that. We're just saying $100 worth of product. SeneGence charges you $10 worth of sales tax on your little, like, invoice, which I really hate they don't have their invoices that have all the details. They only give you a packing slip. That really annoys me. So that's another thing is when you're making your orders, make sure you're printing out those invoices, because it's going to really suck at the end of the year when you have to go back and click through the back office and try to print every single one out, because that's what I had to do myself when I had to do my profit and loss last month, and it sucked. So as you're doing orders, make sure you print out, because like I said, when they send you your stuff, you don't have the detail. You just get the packing slip, and that sucks. So since they're charging you the $10, they're taking that lovely $10 they took from you and they're sending it to the state of Oklahoma or wherever you're from. So they're remitting it to the state of Oklahoma, so you are good on sales tax. Because and people are like, well, why are they charging us? Why do they need to do that? Well, when you go to Sephora and you buy a, lipstick, like, I don't know, Urban Decay lipstick, they're going to charge you sales tax. You go to Walmart, they're going to charge you sales tax. The only time you get around that is if you have an exempt card, and I think that's for people like disabled vets and things like that. I've only seen it like once or twice in my life. Yes, or if you're a nonprofit organization, things like that. And that's what you just have to tell people. And I see somebody who's like, well, I'm just not going to charge my customers taxes. That stuff adds up. If you are buying a lot of product, I want to say, God, I don't even know how much I've actually bought in this year. But I know I hit all my fast starts. I was a significant seller. I mean, that's several $100s that I'm not going to get back. Why would I take that? I would not take that loss. And the reasoning is, if they were to go to Sephora or to Dillard's and go buy their own makeup, they're going to get charged sales tax. You should just do the same thing, period. Now, if you decide not to do that, it's your own business, but I think that's a bad business move, in my opinion. Okay, so since SeneGence gets that $10 and they go remit, you're good. Now, if you decide to go the route that I did and get a sales tax permit, which is like a $25 fee, I think it's good for it's either 3 or 5 years. You basically send all that paperwork to SeneGence, then they will automatically change your account to say that it's tax exempt, and they will just send it to you. So if I buy $300 of retail product, and let's say I get the 50% off or whatever, they're just charging me flat $150, and that's what I do now. But then you have to file your sales tax reports with the state monthly. And let me tell you, I almost forgot this last month because I was in Chicago and I was like, holy crap! So I had to run back to my room and get on my computer and figure out how much I had and submit my sales taxes. So that's the balance you come to. Do you want to deal with it monthly and try to roll it every single month yourself? Most women are not wanting to do that. It's a lot easier to have them do it for you.
What's the pro? How does that benefit you?
The pro of that,
benefit of doing a sales tax?
The pro of that is just because, well, first of all, let's say you have a hostess that does a party and she gets the 30% discount because of hostess rewards. You discounted her entire order. Let's say it was a $500 order, 30%. SeneGence still took the sales tax off of the full amount, full retail amount, but you didn't charge her the full $25 for a lip sense. You gave her $25 plus 30% off, but Ascension's